We are joined now by, the spokesperson, or I think the chief executive, president, of the United Nations Association of New Zealand, Karim Dickie. Karim, welcome to the platform. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thanks, Sean. Great to be on the show.
All right. I'm sorry, and we're probably going to walk through some very basic stuff because I want to get some information and some facts about your organisation and this conference to counter some of the quite whack job claims I've heard this morning about how evil you are in the play of BlackRock, and I kind of digress and joke somewhat. Can you tell me, please, what is the United Nations Association of New Zealand?
Yeah, thanks, Sean. So the UN Association of New Zealand is a national community organisation and a registered charity, and we were established in 1946. And in the words of our constitution, is a people's movement for the United Nations through which the principles of the UN Charter can be shared widely and its vision realised. So Our goal in New Zealand is to help Kiwis understand the United Nations and to promote engagement with the UN system.
All right, that is great. Who are you funded by?
Yeah, so we're a member-supported organisation, and we do have a trust, We the People's Trust, which was set up some time ago, and that was a bequest, and that supports the work that we do. But we are an organisation of volunteers made up of everyday New Zealanders, so none of our staff are paid. We're all volunteers, and what they all share is the interest in wanting to make the world a better place. New Zealand a better place.
Yeah, that's what their self-perception is. Helen Clark is one of your patrons. Who is the other?
Yeah, so the Governor-General of New Zealand is a co-patron as well.
Are you associated with the government in any way? Do you have any official status?
No, so our connection, with the UN, I would say, is through WAFUNA, the World Federation for United Nations Associations, and that provides us with links with other UN associations around the world.
All right, but are you linked or supported in any way by the government of New Zealand?
No, we're not.
No, so you are not a government organisation. Do you receive any funding from the government or the taxpayer of New Zealand through the charitable trust? No. Okay. Do you receive any funding or support from political parties in New Zealand?
No, we don't.
No, we don't. Okay. How many members in your association in New Zealand?
We've got, looking at the mailing list for our newsletter, over 500.
500 people.
Yeah, but
so you represent 500 people who believe in the goals of the United Nations going back to 1946. I know these are basic questions, Karim, but they're important to get some facts.
Yeah,
on the table. I think it's really important. Okay, this conference you were going to have, right?
Yeah.
Was about progress towards what are called the 2030 sustainability goals set by the United Nations. I understand there are 17 of them. They are not binding on New Zealand, though we have signed up to them. And there is no actual official requirement for New Zealand to report back on progress towards those goals. Have you taken it upon yourself to promote those goals and report back on them to the UN? Is that what this is all about?
We work with, people in New Zealand with others who are interested in finding ways to achieve the SDGs.
Do you work with political parties in New Zealand?
No, we don't. We don't. But, we will hold public meetings. We'll meet with officials to talk about the importance of finding ways to achieve those.
Okay. You were going to have this meeting before it went online at Parliament. How did you arrange to have your conference at Parliament, and why?
We've hosted events at Parliament in the past.
Yeah, but you're not parliamentarians, you're not a political group. How did you get access to Parliament?
No, but Parliament is the people's place, so all New Zealanders can use Parliament. You just need to...
Okay, you didn't get a specific invite from any particular politician or anything, you just went through parliamentary services like any Joe Blow.
Well, that's usually you need a parliamentarian to sponsor you to use their
Yeah.
facilities, but because we're in the election period and Parliament's closed, we were going to use Parliament, and that would have been at cost to our organisation.
All right, and you didn't
So we
have
didn't
anyone
have
to
any-
sponsor. You didn't have an MP to sponsor you.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Look, this is really good, and I thank you very much. And I know they might sound mundane questions, but they are actually important in terms of understanding. All right. Who was coming to your conference?
Yeah, so we had a good lineup. We had a keynote speech. I mean, the conference will still be fully delivered
Who was
online.
the keynote speaker?
So we had the former Director General of Health, Dr. Sir Ashley Bloomfield, as a keynote speaker.
Okay, what's he doing now? He's a private citizen and working for a private organisation?
So he is doing some work with the University of Auckland, and he's also working with the WHO as well, and has had experience there. And
Okay, was someone paying for his appearance? Were you paying for his appearance, or he was
No.
gratis?
Everyone who is speaking on our program has done that voluntarily, and that's something I really appreciate as an organisation.
Yeah. Okay. So Ashley Bloomfield was a speaker. Who else?
We've got Dr. Alan Bollard, who's a former
governor of the Reserve Bank. I know Alan. Yeah.
Yeah, and Secretary General of the APEC Secretariat. And then we've got panel discussions.
What about this guy Fink, who everyone says is some mega shady guy from BlackRock?
We've got zero connection to him. I don't know who he is, but I see that a lot of people who
so he's not even involved in your conference or your organisation.
We have got zero connection to BlackRock, and we have zero connection to the World Economic Forum. Our first panel session today is countering misinformation and rebuilding trust in institutions.
Yeah. Look, can I just? I want to give you. I want to give you a bouquet for coming on this morning. The problem we have had here at the platform, we have a Green Party, a Labour Party who will not engage with us largely, and the disinformation project itself will not engage with us, which makes it very hard to counter disinformation. But the fact you've come on this morning and we are working through, and I'm sorry it's laborious, the facts about your organisation is exactly what is needed. It's called disclosure and engagement, Karim.
Well, I totally agree, and I'm happy to, go through these things because I do agree that, we need to make sure the information is out there and then people can be more informed. Because at the moment, there's a lot of misinformation and connections being drawn which are completely untrue.
Okay.